I want to answer it in the way the questions ask. Hello, VIVA's week 4. Right, brief explanation of what you've done in the week. On Monday, we'll take it in turns, yeah? On Monday, we had a lesson with Tom in the morning, focused on the 3 circles of attention, and attention was the third and out of 6 of the steps from Tom Stanislavski. Like, that's his interpretation of the Stanislavski classes. Yeah.
And also Leanne, we had before Tom, we were basically looking at our lines for our Shakespeare, and we were focusing on our punctuation and sort of having that, I guess you could say, ability to sort of move around whilst using that punctuation. But really I think it was just to understand what our characters are trying to say. But basically in that we had to sort of turn halfway if it was maybe a full stop or something like that. So that was basically what it was. That's what we did with Leanne. And I think the week after she said we were then gonna do this sort of thing, but we didn't do it in the end. Actually, okay, I'll move on from that one now. Should we talk about Tuesday? Yeah, so Tuesday we did speed dating. We met our potential directors. I don't think we were actually told about who our directors were, and we performed our auditions in front of them, and I would say I was pretty brave when it... Oh wait, no, we're doing...
Yeah, no, it's all good. We're just answering each question essentially first, because otherwise it's like we repeat ourselves.
So should we just do the brief summary?
Yeah. So we both firstly performed our monologues to the year 2s, H&Ds and the teachers in our own class, of course. And then after that they decided we had they called them speed dates, which is where we went around with our acting CVs, and then we just had a chat with them, and they got a feel of what we were like. Tuesday, that was Tuesday,
and they would sorry, can I just add something really important? And they would add something to sort of decide whether or not they would want us. They were very specific with the questions. I know when it came to depending what one they were doing, they would even ask your star sign, because they want a specific star sign for their show, because they wanted it for their writing.
For a couple of them,
That was only
star sign crazy girls.
So they wanted Sagittarius or something. They want their character, their actor, to be a Sagittarius. But yeah, anyway, sorry. Wednesday, nothing.
Thursday we had a lesson. We had our first lesson with year 2s actually, and Leanne, we were given a duologue, 30 minutes to then prepare it. Leanne's workshop, no, that's what I need to say. I'm answering way too many questions. Friday, this is more difficult than I thought it was, because I usually just get into that spiral of talking. Friday, we spent a lesson with Hayley creating our first acting CVs.
Oh yeah.
So no, how can we have done our scratch night auditions if we didn't have?
But we didn't do our scratch night auditions that Thursday.
No, that Tuesday we did though.
So we performed in front of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And this was we continued to work on our acting CVs, but we had a lesson with Gary where we worked on our 2 shot. And in Gary's lesson we also improvised an argument. We had to move in a set way to make sure we had the over-the-shoulder camera shot.
Yeah, that was pretty difficult.
Right, second question. What techniques and skills have you acquired?
I would say for me, on that Monday, I feel like I learned more how to actually express my character's emotions when it came to that monologue, how it should be said. I think that's a good skill that I learned there. And I think just when it came to Tom's lesson, just sort of learning more about the circle of attention, what you need to it was a circle of attention, so we did that.
3 circles of attention.
And just sort of what is going on around us that can really affect the scene, to how we should act. And I was sort of thinking about the different levels, what's going on, and sort of how it would change.
I found Tom's session quite helpful, honestly, because what he actually said to us afterwards was about that's not the question, so what specific techniques? I think that I have the specific techniques I've acquired this week would be 3 circles of attention from Tom's lesson, which helps me be more focused, more energetic, more ready to act, essentially, when we're performing all the time. What else? What other skills have I learned? that acting too short. I think my improv skills and my actual acting for screen skills have improved because when we first started, I accidentally would look at the camera every now and then. But I think now I'm getting a lot more solid. Like I don't see the camera; it's not there. I just see the other actor. So I think that's skills I've acquired.
Yeah. I've just sort of for me as well. It's just sort of the skill of like turning up for an audition. I think I've learnt that a bit more. Not from like doing the ident, but like sort of having the ident feedback, but also at the same time doing the speed dating. They felt pretty similar in some ways. I know the ident was more about the sort of stages before an audition, but it's sort of definitely taught me a lot on how I need to be. So yeah, I learnt that from the last VIVA, I guess you could say, how I should act. Yeah.
How are these specific skills bearing you as an actor/performer? So to start, I would say that the most useful thing that I found this week was the 3 circles of attention, because sometimes when I, as an actor, I've got to build up my stamina and just work on constantly keeping my energy up, make sure I give my best possible performances. And I found Tom's 3 circles of attention really helpful when I was basically just trying to make sure that I was focused and on point. And it's also what Tom's circles of attention were about. What Tom's 3 circles of attention were about as well was making sure you go home with no tension in your body, so that you basically when you go home you can relax and you can basically recharge, be ready to perform the next day. Because if you can't do that, and it will just basically shorten and limit your career. We talked about this in the last month about VIVA, didn't we?
Yeah. But I think for me, like personally, what I've gained a skill as not a skill. What was it? Sorry, it was like, how's it bettering you? Oh, okay,
yeah.
Right. But when it comes to like, I think it basically is like becoming more professional, honestly, and I think it's just really good for the real world when I want to go into an an audition, is that I know how I should act and how I should behave. So that's bettering me as a performer, because I could probably pay the tax if I had a bit of money. But yeah, no.
Pay the tax, yeah. How has your independent research benefited your learning this week? Well, we actually did quite a bit of research in the sense that we had our scratch note auditions, of course, so we were just basically practicing and trying to understand our characters more. So for my monologue, which is the one I did for Angelo, it was just basically reading measure for measure, understanding the background, what happened in the scene. Basically, I created like a character biography to just so show my understanding that I had a better knowledge of like the character.
Yeah.
And just like hot seating as well. So it's like getting asked questions about the like basically about the play and like my character, and then just answering them in the actual character, which I found way more helpful because I just felt like I was the character and I knew what I was saying.
For me personally, like the independent research I did, I started off sort of like doing a little review. I watched like performances of the Duchess of Malfi, and I sort of looked on it and I thought, well, you know, like how maybe this character should be within the scene, like more of the background of just the character in general, and how differently that should make the acting, basically. I know that's sort of kind of a bit brief, but that's all I've got for that one.
Cool. Independent research, we've just done that. What were your strengths over the week?
I think really just having sort of more of a creative mindset, I think, was a good strength. I think when it came to like the imagination lesson with Tom, just having that not the imagination lesson, the circles that's it, the circles of attention thing is sort of similar to what I said before, but I like how differently I should actually act, and in my own way sort of how I should act, but then also at the same time thinking about that character. So you have to get pretty creative with that, how your character is going to act you know, whether it's on screen or in the theatre. But yeah, no, that is like a sort of strength, just sort of being creative with my own acting from using Tom's lesson. Yeah, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, for me, strengths of this week, I would just say, I've just been building up the same strengths really. It would be, I would say, like my attitude towards learning. I'd say that it's good. I want to learn. I want to get the skills. I want to get the most I can out of this course. And I would say my line learning as well, because when we had that, we did that duologue with a partner. When we had that lesson with the year twos and Leanne, I was actually able to learn my whole duologue off script, which I found was really good as well. Honestly, like. I didn't believe that I could learn lines that quickly, so when I actually got up and performed it, I knew all of my lines and I thought I gave a decent performance. It was just like an incredible feeling of satisfaction for me, because I know now that I'm capable of learning lines that quickly.
Yeah. I think for me as well, like, it's sort of similar to what James was saying, but the strength for me was sort of like just getting used to those lines a bit more. I feel like when we came to this 4th week, I could definitely sort of at least say most of the lines. I wouldn't say all of them. I could remember most of them, and that's definitely an improvement from like the weeks before. I know I hadn't mentioned that from the week before, but it's definitely still an improvement that I'm seeing just in general, learning those lines and sort of, you know, being more professional when it comes to the actual thing, when we do the actual sort of assessment. We should have really done that, but I mean.
Don't let them know that. Yeah.
Alright.
Don't worry, we had it out. No, I'm joking. Right, what are your areas of development? We've just covered this actually, haven't we? Pretty much. We've said this.
Yeah.
How will you ensure to work on these? And we've already pretty much said that. We've just got to keep practicing and stuff. What time are we at? 12 minutes, that's plenty. Right, cool. That's VIVA week 4 done.
Week 4.